Hello and welcome to Let's H. The show's name is a double meaning joke. Ich in Japan, or the letter H, is for naughty. H is also for Hushicho, my name. So welcome to Let's H, and here I'm going to catch you up on what I've been doing, and you can also participate with my show. Please subscribe if you like it. I'll be doing the show regularly and bringing you updates on what I've been doing in my world and what you can expect to see from me in the future. It's here I'd like to answer questions. I'd like to answer your questions. So please send them in to my email address, hushicho@gmail.com. That's hushicho@gmail.com. Disclaimer though, please be polite when asking questions, and please don't ask unreasonable questions. The questions can be about anything: personal opinion, feelings on something, art, techniques, comics, comic history, art history, whatever you'd like. Send in your questions and I will answer them here on my show. Right now I'd like to give a shout out to Caleb Cat, my friend Cassie, who runs Bad Fanfiction Theatre, which I am an increasingly permanent fixture on, and she also does The Knot Art, Red Knot, and I Love Fanfiction. Fantastic shows, you should check it out. I have a link to her YouTube channel, which is where you can find all of her fantastic shows, so please do check out what she does. She is fantastic, she works so hard to bring us all these series, and she deserves all the love. So please check out Caleb Cat, subscribe if you like, and enjoy. Professionally, in the last week, I've been kind of slow. Unfortunately, recently in my personal life, things have been a bit stressful, and unfortunately too, I've had to deal with a lot of things that kind of make work difficult. But I've been producing, and you should be seeing some great things soon. I've been doing some wonderful collaborations with this fantastic colorist, and we've just been having a great time with that. Even some of my ancient old line work has really popped with new colors, so I really love a different approach in colours than what I usually do, someone else's perspective on it, and able to bring it a new life, which I think is just so valuable. Even the oldest, most ancient line work that you've forgotten about can be given essentially a new gloss of paint, and it just becomes new again, it becomes alive again, which is wonderful. I've been enjoying playing the Gundam Musou game, the Dynasty Warriors Gundam games. Those are so much fun, and I love the Warriors games in general because they're just, you can just tune out and have a good time. But that's been fun. That's been when I've had, a little time. You can just play a stage and, then go back to what you're doing. I also picked up Symphony of the Night again, which is always fun to play through. The PSP version is really great because it has so many of the different features. They still didn't put in the other areas from the Saturn version, which I do have. And that's such a shame because there was one that's this beautiful subterranean garden, and it is such a difficult area. And it's kind of brief, but it's so pretty. I really, really loved it. The other one is kind of forgettable, but the Subterranean Garden is actually really, really nice. I just really wish they had put it in the PSP version. But I'm glad that we finally got Maria in there, because Maria was so much fun to play. Although she's not quite as much fun to play on the PSP as she was in the Saturn version. I think she was more powerful in the Saturn version. But still, love to play as Maria, and I'm glad to finally get to do it in a convenient way and not have to dig out my old Saturn. But I watched for the first time the film Sunset Boulevard yesterday, and it was okay. It's one of those that I don't think is held up as well as people would like to think. It had a very compelling premise, but the execution was Gloria Swanson is brilliant as Norma Desmond, and Erich von Stroheim is amazing in an understated performance as Max, her butler. But William Holden's Joe was a huge douche from the get-go. And I have to say, this is uncommon in a film, but I have to say that I was at no point really that upset by the fact that the film pretty much starts off with him floating face down in a swimming pool. So, I mean, that's not really a spoiler. It happens in the first 5 minutes, and it's one of the most iconic scenes in film, but it's one of those where there's a sort of gothic sensibility. It reminded me some of the Hammer films that would be made in the 60s and the 70s, in fact. Except a lot of its attempts at satire, and it seemed like there were several, just didn't really work, and that may be because of the change in the way that not only Hollywood is seen, but the way that the mentally ill are seen, because obviously Norma had issues, but at no time did I really feel like she was malicious. She was just She was discovered at such an early age that throughout her life it seemed like everything was a pageant, something for the cameras, something for cameras that may not have even been there. And it's a common delusion in children that, you know, they are being observed by some other force, or by some people even, and that it allows them to feel like they are not alone in their struggles, and that their triumphs are all the more inspiring because they're sharing it with others. So it's kind of difficult for me really to be too harsh on Norma or to view her with contempt, because I don't think she's a contemptible person. I think she's just a tragic person. And to be honest, I feel like Joe took advantage of her more than she took advantage of him, and he was extremely insensitive to her needs at every given point. Joe's character also seemed to make the stupidest possible decision at any point when he made a decision. So it made it very hard to sympathize or even empathize with him, because he just kept making the worst possible decisions and treated people really horribly. And he was just a very unsavory person. Very pretty, but not much there. When ironically, we're supposed to believe that Norma's looks are fading, when in reality she's perfectly attractive. She's a beautiful woman. And it's mainly her, she herself, who is her own greatest foe at that. Her harsh judgments on her own looks, and kind of holding herself to, frankly, unrealistic standards, have a different meaning today in terms of film viewing than I think did at the time. I don't think it's a bad film, I just don't think it's a great film. It's worth seeing at least once, though, in the knowledge that it doesn't really have the same meaning in what it tries to say as maybe it once did. Hopefully I won't get hate mail for this, but I did enjoy the film, and I'm glad I saw it, so that's what you come away with. Mr. Jamil, I'm ready for my close-up now. And now it's time to name that quote. Not that quote, but I've got another quote from another work entirely that I'm going to give to you in my own voice, and I'll try to imitate the source. If you can name that quote, you will win a prize. I have to know who said it, in what, and what the circumstances were. If you can name that quote, you'll get a sketch or a little prize heartfelt from me to you. Are you ready? Here's the quote. You can't leave. Your journey has come to an end. Everything around you will become dark, and someone will take your hand. Got it? Excellent. If you know who said that, and in what, and the circumstances, write me. Let me know those three things at hushicho@gmail.com. hushicho@gmail.com. I want to hear from you, and remember, you get a prize. Well, I'd like to thank you all for being here for this first episode. I know it's not what it will be, especially since we don't really have any questions, we don't really have any contest winners yet. And, well, the last couple of weeks have been really hard, so the marathon that I did with Caleb Cat has been the only noteworthy thing that I've done in terms of professional duties and professional functions. But in future there will be a lot more excitement. I'm working on some different projects and a website as well for those projects, so I'll be keeping you up to date on that. As usual, you can see my art at hushiart.tumblr.com. That's hushiart.tumblr.com. That's my official art site. Be warned that there may be stuff on there like nudity, etc. So, as an art site sometimes has. But you can always go there and see some of the best that I've been doing lately, some of the stuff that I've been doing for commission or professional work, some work that I'm proud of that you can enjoy. I'm Hushicho, and I hope to see you here next time. Please subscribe on social media, please follow, and please consider being my patron on Patreon. It'll enable me to bring you more things and more fun things here, so that I'll have more to talk about when I'm updating you on what I'm doing professionally right now and in my personal life as well. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.